Welcome into the Casual Sports Podcast, everybody. I'm Matt Morrison here with Mike Wolfgang. This is another edition of the Mike and Matt Show. And we do pretty fine here by ourselves, right, Mike?
I'm not going to tell Alec, but I think I like it, though.
I like it, yeah. We get a word in. He rambles on. Yeah, sure. He won't know. Even though he's probably listening right now.
Yeah.
But how you doing today? We got a big storm coming, I guess.
That's what they're saying. I mean,
nothing has happened now.
Well, they're saying the evening time tonight they're going to start raining, maybe freezing.
Yeah.
And I had some teachers yesterday saying, "Hey, they're not guaranteeing there's going to be no class, but
yeah.
I don't care what you hear me.
We're just joking. We like you on the show.
I mean, it'd be nice if there's no class tomorrow, but
yeah, it would be nice. I already got one teacher saying that she doesn't want us to come in, so I got one class canceled. So
good.
We'll see.
If it's bad, I'm not going. So whether they like it or not.
Heck no! I live all the way out in the boondocks. 40 minutes from campus. I'm not driving.
And Girard roads suck when it snows. So
yeah. Oh, I bet. But Mike, so yesterday Tom Brady retired, and Alec and I said our pieces about him. So it's only fair that you do too. So why don't you go ahead and give your spiel about, what he meant to you, or like what his career is, impacts or anything on your life. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, Matt, I know you're a Steeler fan. I know he's beat them all the time. But and I compare it to my dad when he grew up watching Michael Jordan play the Cavs and beat them every year in the playoffs. And obviously he couldn't stand them, but he respected them. He respected how good he was, how he just went about the game. And I feel like the same way with Tom Brady. I mean, he didn't really do much to my teams, but just watching him, and how do you not enjoy what he's done? I mean, the story he has a story. He has, being doubted coming into the NFL, being, pick 199, all that stuff. And some teams, he didn't even start right away for Patriots. Some teams didn't even believe him. So I'm definitely going to miss watching him for sure. And I don't want to be selfish, but I wish he could have kept playing at least another year. But he's amazing. I mean, you think about he's been in 10 Super Bowls and he's won 7 of them. So 70% of the time he's in Super Bowls, he won them. That's ridiculous. So I mean, awesome career. I'm going to miss watching him, and I'm excited to see what he does next.
Yeah, me too. But let's go ahead and move on here. Let's get into some college basketball. Mike, our first game we're going to talk about here is Wisconsin versus Illinois. Yeah, there's that.
I did see that. I didn't know if that was accurate or not, but I did see that.
He does plan to sign a one-day contract with the Pats to retire, which is it's fitting, because that's a team. I mean, he had the last 2 years he was Tampa Bay, but when everybody says like, hey, Tom Brady, you think New England right away. Same with Joe Montana. He was with the Chiefs for a little bit. But everybody knows him from the Niners. That's where the base of his career was created, right there in New England. So, it'd be great that'd be great. And a lot of speculation has been out that Robert Gronkowski is going to retire too. But there's
coming.
There's been also speculation that he might join the Buffalo Bills.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
Gronk
sweet.
In Buffalo. That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet, but it'd only be fitting if he would retire with him too, and be with Brady, because that was the only quarterback he played with.
Yeah,
was Tom Brady.
I mean, he came out of retirement for him and fought in Tampa.
Yeah,
where a couple years ago, nobody even wanted to play in Tampa.
No, and everybody. Now we can talk about this for a second before we go into college basketball. But Kyle Trask is. I mean, that's their backup. They drafted him just a year ago. A lot of people forgot about Kyle Trask from Florida. Everybody's like, oh, no, we're not going to ever be successful again. We don't have Brady. Just hang on. Kyle Trask can get stuff done. It's not like Blaine Gabbert's going to start. So
he could.
Just, take it easy.
I mean, they definitely have options. Like you said, they had Kyle Trask they drafted. I mean, there's going to be some quarterbacks moving around. I mean, did they make a run at Jimmy G? We'll see if that happens.
Yep.
Because I saw today, it's Jimmy G pretty much said he's like, I know I'm going to get traded, so it's going to happen. It's just a matter of where he goes.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh. I don't know about you.
Me too. A lot of people say bad things about him, but I like Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't know if he's going to be the guy going forward to replace Ben, but at least it's a good start.
Yeah, I did see that as well. Gabbert is the franchise leader in passing.
Yeah, how many reps? He probably has like 10 reps.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That's going to change here real soon. But all right, let's go into some college basketball here, Mike. We got the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini. So this should be a pretty good game. Both ranked.
Yep.
Wisconsin 17-13, where Illinois is 15-5, 8-2 in their conference, and Wisconsin is also 8-2 in their conference. Illinois is actually favored by 7 in this game.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know how. I mean,
home.
They're a solid team. But like Wisconsin has been playing ball, and they even say Illinois has a 79.5% chance to win this game. I guess they're all going for Illinois here. They all think that they're the tougher team, but I mean, what about Wisconsin? What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been winning, they've been beating good teams. I don't know why. I mean, they're going the Illinois route here. Like, I get it. Illinois is a tough team too, but look what Wisconsin has done. Okay. Only 3 losses. One was a tough one to Michigan State. They took a one to Ohio State too, but they beat a tough Indiana team. They beat a tough Marquette team. They did lose the Province, but we've talked good about Province all year. They beat a Houston team that game there against Houston. Really, I mean, Houston needed to win that game because they don't have too many big games on their schedule that they could add to their resume, and they lost that game. But only by 2, but Wisconsin still pulled out the win. They can pull out tough wins. They really can. And, yes, I mean, is it in Illinois? It is in Illinois, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. That's why. Because Illinois is tough at home. They really are.
You're comparing what? They're 18th seed or 18 ranked, and then Wisconsin's 11. So, yeah, they're playing at home. It's not like they're far off from each other. So it's a Big Ten match. Matt, I always tell you I like these Big Ten matchups. I especially like these ones that are in the top 25 because they're always fun. You saw the one on Sunday against Purdue with Ohio State. They're always fun. Yeah. Comes down to the end. I think this one's going to come down to the end too. But yeah, I obviously I like what Wisconsin's doing. I had them in my top 10 yesterday. I think they were 10th for me. So I was like what they're doing. And I think Illinois, they had that year last year. They losing the tournament. They kind of, I don't know if they started out sluggish this year. I don't know if you'd say that, but they haven't really been what they were last year. So I think they're kind of building back towards that. And I think, tonight, like at home, like I said, that's probably why they're favored. And, a game like this against Wisconsin, if they can get this one and keep it rolling, then they're going to be back in the conversation.
Yeah, and, they need a win like this here tonight. Yeah. I mean, you talked about that great year they had last year, and they didn't really back it up in the tournament. So they're looking for a little redemption, and this is where to start right here.
Yeah.
Beat tough Big Ten teams like this.
And Wisconsin they're like the definition of tough Big Ten team.
Oh, yeah.
They always have been.
Very much so. They're first, aren't they?
Yeah. They're not flashy. They never really were flashy.
They just win. They just win games. They don't have flashiness. They don't need flashiness. They have toughness. They know how to go out and win games. They know how to sweat and bleed and just get buckets and, keep playing. Play hard defense, too. They just know how to go out and get these grueling wins. And, when they lose, it's like, keep something because they don't lose too much.
Yeah.
They don't lose too much at all. So, they're one of the few teams I actually think that could, stay at this record right now. Like, only lose 3, maybe they'll probably lose 2 more games on the season, maybe. Yeah. But that's it. I don't think they'll lose too much. And this is Big Ten play, too. This is what the rest they have.
Yeah.
And, you know how tough that is. We've talked about that before. They have a tough schedule coming up, and I'm not even looking at it, and I know it's tough. Because
I'm looking at Illinois. I'm looking at Illinois. They got Purdue next in a week. When it comes when it comes first to Big Ten.
Oh,
so they got Purdue in a week. Then they have Purdue again after that on the 10th because it's a postponed game for more than a year. So they have to play them twice in a couple of days. Then they have to play Michigan State, Ohio State. Michigan's not Michigan this year, but these games are still tough to play. They got to close out.
And you still have to play them.
They got to close out with Michigan, Penn State, and Iowa.
Michigan now, especially every game they treat, especially in the Big Ten, they're treating it as their March Madness run right now because they have obviously they probably won't make it unless they surprise people and win the Big Ten tournament. You never know.
Yeah.
Because I know one thing: the favorites never win the Big Ten tournament. It's always somebody who's not supposed to win that wins it.
I mean, favorites really never win anything in college
basketball. No, never.
But I mean, like I said, these tough games they got coming up, they're going to continue after this Wisconsin game because they got Indiana and then they have those 2 Purdue games. So they can, kind of get it rolling tonight with, Wisconsin. Could be interesting for Illinois.
It's going to be interesting. Cogburn, great player. He's going to be a fabulous player in the NBA.
I think so too.
Whoever picks him up he's going to be a key player. Hopefully somebody good, But Illinois, Wisconsin after Illinois, they got to play a Penn State team, and Penn State is pesky. They're the pesky Nittany Lions.
And then 2 teams got good games in the past, especially last year.
They're 9-9.
Yeah.
But that's to be 9-9 in this conference is great. Honestly, I'm happy with.
All the postponed games they should have won a few other ones though.
Yeah,
especially that Purdue one and some other games they should have won, but
they didn't. But after Penn State, they got to play Michigan State and then Rutgers, and you never know what can happen with Rutgers. I mean, they're 12-9. That's not a bad record, and they can pull off some buzzer beater wins like we've seen earlier in the season. So it's a toss-up with the Big Ten. You don't know. You just don't know.
Big Ten tournament's so fun to watch, and I can't wait till it happens.
Oh, me too. It's just fun. It's I usually just watch the Big Ten tournament and then March Madness. I don't pay attention to the other conferences.
Yeah,
I don't, because most of them who's going to win it. Like, why would you watch Gonzaga's tournament, conference tournament? That'd be horrible.
Yeah,
it'd be horrible.
I've seen it before, and it's like last year it was okay because there was like maybe 2. I think BYU was kind of good last year, and they kind of made a good game, but that was it.
Yeah, that's it. But let's go ahead and make some picks in this game. Mike, why don't you go first here? We'll go back and forth on picks. Yeah, maybe we should write these down.
All right,
Who are you going to go with here?
I'm going to stay with Wisconsin. I put them in my top 10. I'm going to stay with them here.
I'm staying with them too. Like, I want to go Illinois, but Wisconsin knows what they're doing. They're there for a reason. I gotta go with them. But we got a comment here. This is Alec commenting on our social media here. SEC and Big 12
this year,
This year should be interesting. It should be, but so will the Big Ten. The Big Ten's always interesting. Every year, it's fun to watch that tournament. So we'll just have to see. We got some good ones coming. It's coming. We're in February now.
Month.
February, March. That's it. We're coming along here, Mike. We're getting close. We get some madness.
Sorry, I was writing. I heard you though.
We'll see. But all right, let's move on to the next game here, Mike. This is your team. You got the Villanova Wildcats against the Marquette Golden Eagles. This should be a pretty interesting game. Yeah, I like this Marquette team. They're 15-7.
This game's at 10 o'clock. I ain't watching this.
Huh?
This game's at 10 o'clock.
I'll be in bed. I'll be sleeping away. Are you kidding?
It's not like they're playing out west. I don't know why it's that late.
I'm an old man. I can't stay up that late.
I'll tell you what. The last few weeks, I've loved getting my sleep. I'm sitting there watching games. I just fall asleep even when they're early.
Yeah, I felt. The other night I was watching something on TV. I think it was the Cavs. Who they play? I forget. But I fell asleep like 8 o'clock.
I was watching the Pens last night. In middle of third, I fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I dozed off. Well, you know what was crazy? I got home right before the second period ended. I think something like that. I'm like, oh, all right, we're winning, all right. So I put my stuff away from the game I called last night. Come back out, and it's tied. There was like 20 seconds left in the quarter. I'm like, are you serious? They tied it? They could be kidding me.
Well, we could talk about that later because
we'll talk about that later.
Because that was a good game regardless.
Sleep. One of my classes is healthy lifestyles, and we were talking about sleep the other day, and half the kids in there are like getting 5-6 hours of sleep. I'm like, are you kidding me?
No way.
I can't do that anymore.
I took a half-hour nap last night on the couch to watch the game. I take naps. And I go to bed.
If I don't sleep good, if I sleep like 4 or 5 hours, I just take naps to make up. I don't care.
I'm not a nap person, but I've gotten into them the last few months.
They're comfortable.
Especially this time of year when there's nothing to do.
Yeah, there's nothing to do. Are you going to go play outside? Oh, man.
Oh, by the way, my snowman's melting, unfortunately.
But literally the head off my snowman just fell. It just fell off. Old man podcast.
I'm talking about my snowman. Right. His head's like, it's like he's losing weight.
It just fell off. It just fell off. Oh man, it's gonna rain and I have to.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone.
Oh,
Mobley,
man.
my boy.
It's been up for like 3 weeks.
Would you name him?
I don't know, Robert.
I named him Mobley because I put him in Cavs gears.
We'll name him AC. There's no AC out there. He's always laughing.
See, now you know that. Now that I pointed that out, now you always say that.
Yeah. Once you pointed that out,
I hate listening to it.
Well, story time here. We can go off track here just a little bit. Yeah, it's casual sports podcast. We can be casual about.
We don't have a whole lot to talk about today, anyways.
We don't have a lot to talk about, but one time I was watching the Cavs, and I get a random text here from Mike. He's like, "Man, Austin Carr laughs too much." Literally after you said that.
Well, my dad pointed out to me first.
He started laughing. I'm like, "Oh my god, he's right. He's right."
If you
like, man,
and I'm not trying to talk
my
about
dad.
I love AC.
Oh, me too. Then I said it to my dad.
Again, I forget what it was. I don't know if it was one of their most recent games. I don't know if it was the other
bad jokes during the broadcast.
Well, it wasn't even jokes. Like, nobody even said anything, and he started laughing. No. I'm not making that up. He actually started laughing.
He just laughs.
I'm like nothing. Nobody said anything.
We just started laughing during the Cavs game now when my dad and I.
Oh, you told him about it?
Oh yeah, I told him about it too. And he's like, rebound, ha 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 ha. Like, what?
My dad noticed first, and ever since then.
Oh man. Like, I pay attention to it now. He's like, key rebounds off the board.
It's actually too annoying now.
Yeah. Now that you pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But
all right, Villanova Marquette.
Yeah, Villanova Marquette. Marquette Golden Eagles have been a sleeper team. They have been. And we ran a Twitter poll, apparently, and the fans voted 5 for Villanova and 2 for Marquette. Well, I like this Villanova team. They have bounced back. They have on the season. They started off a little bad. Mike, we were dogging them earlier in the season. Especially after the Purdue and the UCLA loss. You're like, oh, I don't know. And then they lost I was
worried about them, yeah.
But they lost to Creighton, and I'm like, oh no, they lose to Creighton, and then they pull off a bunch of wins. Like 7 wins in a row. I'm like, oh no, they're back. But then their next loss after that, and
Marquette.
This was actually the last time they lost as well. The last time they lost was to Marquette, 57-54. It is a tight game. It is a very tight game, and it's going to be another one here tonight. But Villanova, they lost to them last time. They get that bad taste in their mouth, and you never know. They're in Marquette too, so it's going to be even tougher. So. I don't know here. I don't know.
It's tough. Some of these games they played Georgetown. They didn't really win by that much. They won by 11 for how bad Georgetown is.
Yeah.
And some of the other, they're winning right now. They blew out DePaul. A lot of people do too. But St. John's was a tight game. But I'm gonna give my pick. You guys know I'm picking Villanova. You guys, Pennsylvania team. That's another reason why I like them. Little side notes. You guys, I always tell you why I like them. My dad, he's not a fan of them, but he roots for them. And when they won the championship back in the 80s, he had the Sports Illustrated of it.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know if he still has. He might still have it somewhere, but he's always liked them ever since then. Oh, so I kind of follow that. And when they won the championship, I think they won 2 times.
They won a couple of times. Jenkins hit the buzzer beater.
That one, I think there was another one too.
Crazy. I was going crazy. That was against North Carolina.
Yeah, that was it.
I like North Carolina.
One. I think that was, they won 2, and that was the first one they
won 2. They won 2 of them. Yeah.
And that was on my dad's birthday, and he was pretty excited about it because it was buzzer beater.
That's sweet.
And we were watching it. But yeah, that's kind of why why I do, but that's why my dad likes Villanova, and I kind of followed him ever since then.
I like Villanova too. I'm actually going to go with you here. I'm going to think Villanova here too. They didn't lose too much by Marquette. The last time, and I think they're going to adjust some things, and they're going to pull out the win here. So it should be a pretty interesting game now. It's going to come down to the end like it did last time. Marquette, they have pulled off some wins, but some of these losses, they're against good teams, but they don't have a lot of wins against good teams, okay?
Yeah.
They beat Seton Hall, they beat Villanova and Xavier, okay? They beat Seton Hall twice. But you lose to Providence, you lose to Creighton, you lose to UConn, you lost to Xavier before, you lost to UCLA, Wisconsin, and they lost to this team too. Who the heck is this team? They lost to the St. Bonaventure too. St. Bonaventure.
The Bonnies. That's the
Bonnies
team.
So, Yeah, I like the bunnies. Did you see the guy that they were honoring the other night? He got made their Hall of Fame, and he brought his old baggy shorts that he wore.
Yeah.
They're like trademark baggy shorts.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I forget the guy's name, but that was pretty cool that they did that. But I'm going to rule Villanova here. I think they got more big wins than Marquette. Marquette has a couple sneaky big wins, like the one against Villanova. And I think that's where they get a lot of recognition, and I think it's going to run out. I think the luck is going to run out. I like the Golden Eagles. I do. They're tough. They're scrappy. But Villanova is a cemented team, and they know what they have to do now, and I think they figured it out.
And honestly. I love their players. I love Colin Gillespie.
I love their program.
And Eric Dixon, too. And I love their head coach.
Jay Wright is probably one of my favorite coaches.
He's awesome.
Jay Wright. He's a great guy. And, yeah, they're Pennsylvania. So, all right, we're going – you wrote that down?
Pennsylvania, yep.
All right.
Yeah, I got it written down.
Let's move on to the next game here. Here is a pure super team, okay? All right. I'm going to name the two teams that are playing. I'm going to give you a guess, okay, on who I think the sleeper team is. You got the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Georgia Bulldogs.
I know you're not talking about Georgia.
I'm not talking about Georgia. They are 6-15, 1-7 in their conference. Arizona, 16-5, 5-3 in their conference. Yeah, Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas. My bad. But the Razorbacks, what a team they have, Mike. I mean, I was looking up this game like, hey, they're pretty good. They've had a couple losses. They're like, all right, I guess so. I mean, it's Arkansas. I mean, they're not going to be top tier all the time, but they lost Oklahoma pretty bad. So we'll have to look at that. They lost to a team called Hofstra Pride. So, I mean, Hofstra Pride. I've never even heard of this team. Where are they from? But
no idea.
No idea. What's this? Oh, yeah. So fans picking Arkansas in this game over the Dogs. So, all right. I mean, it's pretty cut and clear right there.
Where's this team at they lost to?
Hofstra Stride or something. What is
Georgia,
it?
Right?
Hofstra Pride.
I can't find them.
Hofstra is in New York. Okay.
I'm looking at their schedule. I don't know. Whatever. They stink.
But I mean, they have some big wins too. They beat LSU. They beat Texas A&M. They beat West Virginia, Mike. So, and they have some tough games coming up too. They got Auburn and Alabama coming up as well, and Tennessee's in that mix too. But just Georgia is just a bad team.
They do. They're not good.
I don't know how to put it any clearer than that.
It's a team that was 2 years ago had the number one pick in the draft, and they
I know.
After that,
I know. But I don't know. They have some players on this team that I think that can be good. I mean, I like their coach. Tom Crean was a legend at Indiana. He brought bunch of Final Four appearances. So I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, they lost to Vanderbilt. So I mean, Vanderbilt is okay. I mean, 11-9. I like their team a little bit. Actually, 1 second, I'm checking on something. But Georgia, they just don't have that team that they have in football. Okay,
they're just not a good team.
They're not a basketball school.
Yeah.
And here he is. Scotty Pippen Jr. actually plays for Vanderbilt, and he actually did pretty good in that game. So where was it? About 23 points against Georgia. So look out for Scotty Pippen Jr. Just look out. There's a name right there. But of course, because of his dad. But I mean, it's going to be really cut and clear here who I'm picking. And it's not Georgia. So
come on, you like upsets?
No, I'm not picking this upset.
You know who I'm
Georgia
picking.
Itself is an upset.
Yeah, so, honestly,
it's bad. They're last in the SEC. Just Tom Crean. He's a very credible coach too. I mean, his job could probably be on the line here too. They just don't get recruits. Like, who's going to want to go to Georgia? They want to go to top. They want to go to top teams. Yeah, I know. They still.
I don't understand how that happened. Honestly,
I don't understand how that happened at all. How'd they beat them? You beat Alabama.
Upsets happen, I guess.
South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
man, they still beat Alabama, but I mean, look at all the teams they lose to. George Mason beat them.
Yeah.
So
that's how bad they are.
Yeah, they're bad. That Alabama one just had to be the sun shining on the dog's butt.
Their Super Bowl.
Yeah, that had to be their Super Bowl. But Mike, I know who you're going with. You know who I'm going with. Go ahead and write it down, and let's move on to the next game. We're going to no, we're not going with the Dogs. We're going with the Razorbacks. Oh yeah, I think you said the Dogs.
No,
the Razorbacks. All right, next game here, Mike. I had to pick a Big Ten game, so this is gonna be a pretty good game. Purdue against Minnesota.
Yeah,
very tough, battled Minnesota team. They're 11-7, but they're mean. Okay, they're the Golden Gophers. They shouldn't even be called the Golden Gophers. They should be called the Mean Gophers or something. I don't know, but they're a strong team. I like what they've done. They pulled off some wins that people are like, hey, they can contend. You know, they can play some good teams. They did lose. I mean, they have a bunch of losses in the Big Ten. I mean, you lose to Ohio State, you lose to Iowa, Michigan State, and Indiana, as well as Illinois. But it's the Big Ten. You know, some of these games are not by a lot. You know, they lost to Wisconsin by 6 points. You know, Ohio State beat them by 11 points. So that's not that bad. Iowa beat them by 10. Michigan State only beat them by 2. So they're always going to be in there. They're always going to be in that mix. They'll always stick in with the game. They'll hold you down. They'll make you exhausted, but they can't finish it off. They can't pull away. And that, eventually another team is going to get their breath back when this team can't run. Like, Minnesota's not – I don't think they're that physical. I don't think they have the speed as some of these teams. I mean, Ohio State and Wisconsin are teams that can run the court.
Yeah.
And run and not get tired. And they have a deep bench too. So, I mean, it's just the bad luck of the draw, I guess, for Minnesota to be where they are right now. I like this program, I do, but in the end, you're in the Big Ten, you're in a tough conference, you know what you're going up against, and you don't prepare. You don't get the right recruits, you don't get the right coaches, you don't you don't get the right playing offense or defense. You don't know if you need to be in the 2-3 or 3-2 or just play man-to-man or zone. And the offensive side, you don't know what offense to run.
Yeah,
they just need to figure stuff like that out. So, but stating that, I got to go with Purdue here. Purdue's just a strong team. They have everything they need to make a run. Yes, they've lost some games, but I mean, every team's going to lose. Every team's going to lose a couple games. They only lost 3 games. They've fallen a little bit off.
Yeah.
In our rankings, I believe. But Alec was noting the Indiana loss. Like, yeah, that's a big loss. But Indiana, you don't mess around with Indiana. Indiana knows what they're doing.
It's not a huge loss.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not a huge loss. And they pulled off 3 straight wins against Northwestern, Iowa, and Ohio State. So, and then after Minnesota, they have Michigan, Illinois, and then Michigan again. And, I bet you Michigan will get them napping at least once for a little bit. They might,
Matt,
they might be able to pull something off. It has to be the one in Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, they only have 3 losses, but it feels like they've slipped a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm looking at the game right here. It's 11. Purdue's favored by 11. I think that's kind of a lot. I think Purdue's going to win. I'm picking them to win. I've been rolling with them all year.
Oh yeah, me too.
But I think at home, Minnesota, it's not. They're 11-7. It's not like they're a terrible team. And I think I'd probably say Purdue wins by like 5, 6, or 7. I think it's a tight game. I don't think it's 11 or more than 11 points plus 11. And again, it's another one of these Big Ten games. It can either mainly, that has the potential to be a blowout, but it's. I don't think it's going to be that.
No, I don't think so either. But it should be a pretty good game. Saying that, I bet you we're both going Purdue here. So go ahead and write it down. We're about half an hour into the show here. We're going to move out of college basketball and get into some NBA. We'll pick a couple NBA games here. We'll go and pick a couple. I'll add a hockey game in there too.
And we got to discuss last night's game.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
Because it was a good game.
Yeah, we'll talk about last night's game and with the Penguins and what they kind of need to do here. But we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and pick some NBA games. We'll talk about the Cavs too. They're staying strong, so why not talk about them? We can be biased. But let's go ahead and talk about the Denver Nuggets versus the Utah Jazz. This is a pretty good game. When I go through and I'm looking at these games, what to talk about, I look at this game. Like, this game is
might be the best one
two teams that are fighting for that third, fourth seed, right? They're right neck and neck.
This is probably the best game tonight.
Yeah, honestly, I know the Cavs played Houston, but Denver Nuggets, they're a very strong team. Of course they have Jokic, but Utah Jazz is a complete team too. Look at the players they have. Okay, they have, Donovan Mitchell. You got Clarkson coming off the bench. I like this team. They've been there every year. They're a strong team, but just look at there's just somebody better than them, and Phoenix is that team right now. Golden State's slipping just a little bit. They are. They need to figure some stuff out.
They're going through a stretch that we always talk about.
Yeah, but
still getting Clay back.
Phoenix is just looking great. They won again last night, didn't they? Yeah, they won again. Unbelievable. Chris Paul. I saw a play by Chris Paul. It was like 3-4 seconds left in the quarter, and he just ran down half court past all these guys and just put up a layup. I'm like, how did he do that? He still has the quickness. He still has the speed at his age. That is unbelievable.
He could actually be the best closer in the game right now.
Yeah.
So at his age, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. But Denver Nuggets, they seem to be in it every year. So does the Jazz. They always seem to be in the playoffs, but they never make a run. Okay, and they just sit around and they see what happens. Fans vote 3-0 for the Nuggets over the Jazz. I'm not going to roll the Nuggets. I'm going to go with the Jazz here in this game, honestly. I think the Jazz has, a more, versatile offense,
When they're hitting, they're hitting.
Roster. Yeah, when they go off, they go off. So, they're 30-21. They are – where are they? They're right behind Memphis. Memphis is up there. Memphis is another team. What a team they have pulled off. They've been circulating for a couple of years, and they just finally said, hey, well, we're going to make a run at it this year, and they're right there. They are right there. They're about 4 games behind Golden State and, 7.5 out of first. I don't think anybody's touching Phoenix, but look at the teams behind them. There's some tough teams. Even Dallas, too. Mike, Dallas is in there, too. They're in there.
Which is kind of surprising because they haven't been playing that great either.
Those first 6
They've had
seeds,
injuries.
Those first 6 seeds are tough. Those are some tough seeds right there.
I'm just saying, and again, I'm looking at these current play-in teams. Minnesota's able to get out of it, too. I'm not saying they can beat Golden State or Phoenix, but they're a team that can scrap, too.
The Clippers, though, if they're super team, no Kawhi Leonard, I get that, but
they don't have Paul George anymore.
They weren't doing anything with him.
Last year they were.
They don't win anything. They don't go to a Western Conference final at all. They lose. They don't make big runs. Huh?
They were in it last year.
They were in the Western Conference finals last year? Oh, yeah, that's right. That is right.
So, Kawhi's still out till at least March 1st, they're saying. Paul George is out till at least February 25th. So they've got a lot of guys out. But, yeah. They still have Zubac out, too. Actually, he's a game-time decision tonight, so he's not out long. But it's just ever since they got together there, it's just they haven't been healthy.
Yeah. But, we get the Timberwolves. We talked about the Timberwolves. I like what they've been doing. Ooh, Karl Anthony Towns can play. Okay,
he's changed his game up too.
He has. He can shoot now too. He can take some outside shots as well.
Yeah, but what I like about him too is he's not taking them as often as he used to because he knows that he could play down low. He could pretty much take anybody down low. There's only a few guys.
Now that he can put that shot up though, he can do a great fake at it.
He's opened up his game.
Down. Yeah, he can drive down to where he knows what to do. Now that he knows
I like
how
this
to
Timberwolves
take
team.
shots like that. Yeah, I like to see him get in. But the Lakers are the Lakers. I don't really want to talk about them. The Trailblazers, we talked about them on Monday. They're 21-30. 20 games out of first. I mean, they're still in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess if you're a Blazers fan, be a little excited. You still have a chance of getting the playoffs. But Pelicans, yeah, they're right behind them. But, I mean, a couple games behind them. But, I
don't see them happening.
I don't see them going. They're a disappointment. And so is Zion, Come on.
I feel sorry for him. I know you know.
Yeah.
I know your feelings about him, but any player that's injury prone, I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he could have ended up being a bust, but we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, first couple of years, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be a bust. He has problems with his health. He can't stay healthy. He's over 300 pounds now.
You guys know.
Look at him.
You guys know my theory on being a bust. I don't think I'm not gonna penalize somebody and call him a bust if they're just always injured, because it's not like they're trying to get injured.
I mean,
it's just some players just injured.
They just don't take care. They don't take care of their bodies enough.
Yeah.
And that's Zion Williamson right now. The guy's over 300 pounds. Do you call that taking care of his body? He's down in New Orleans. He's eating too much gumbo. That's a problem. Get him out. I don't know. Where would you get him to? I don't know.
Taking on Bourbon Street. I've been on Bourbon Street. There's restaurants there, and it's right by where they play. So he's hanging out there.
Eating gumbo. I mean, I'd be down there eating gumbo. I mean, I'd live it up down in New Orleans.
Like I said, I've been on Bourbon Street.
It's dangerous down there. He's been eating too much of that crawfish.
Yeah,
that crawfish I'm sure is real good too. I'd eat some.
Everywhere there is good to eat.
Yeah, it's good to eat. Yeah, we're talking about the things we talk about. But I mean, it's sad though. I mean,
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I just made a solid opinion about him, and I stuck with it.
Which is fine. You're allowed.
And I've been with it for years now. And finally, people are like, "Hey, you're kind of right." That when he got first picked overall from Duke, a couple of years ago, I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna be a bust," And everybody was.
But I told you, my thing on how I feel about bust is if you're playing and you just stink, like you're just not any good.
Yeah,
we really haven't got to see him play that much for me to say he's a bust. When he plays, it's like he doesn't suck. He's like above average.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen it happen that much. So
no,
that's how I look at being a bust.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get back. We'll get back on target here. What game were we talking? Nuggets versus the Jazz. But who are you picking here? I'm picking the Jazz in this one. I think it'll be a good one. But I think the Jazz.
By the way, though, speaking of Jazz, that ACL injury to Joe Ingles, that's going to hurt them a lot.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
and he was a guy. He was a guy that I was shocked to even hear, but he was a guy that teams were talking about being potential trade candidates for. I saw a mock trade that actually the Cavs were interested in him. That would have been nice, but now he's hurt for the year. Yeah, for ACL injuries out for a year. But
I'm sure we'll pick somebody up. I want
to see who the Jazz get to maybe fill that in.
I know Spencer Dinwiddie wants to be traded.
Maybe the Jazz can get him.
Maybe the Jazz can get him. That'd be maybe a good fit right there. But I got to go Jazz here still. I think they still got it going. They've been around for a while. So is Denver. But, I mean, you can tell they're slipping. They're just slipping a little bit. So they need to get Jokic more help. I like, what's his name? Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
I like what he's done, but they got to get somebody else in there with him. They got to get somebody else to Denver.
I'm gonna go Jazz too. Nuggets are a team the last few years. They're good, or they have been good. Maybe not so much this year, but they're just a team I haven't really trusted.
Yeah, I don't trust them too much.
And you can't always trust the Jazz because they're a shooting heavy team, and some nights are really off. But I think they're a better team in this matchup.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Let's move into the next game here. Let's go Grizzlies versus the Knicks. We just talked about Grizzlies for a minute there. The New York Knicks, you know how I think about the Grizzlies, so let's talk a little bit about the Knicks. New York Knicks, I mean, they're a shell what they were last
year. They're not good.
They're Honestly, though, I think if you add Derrick Rose back in, I mean, I know he's a little bit older, but that guy can still ball. And a lot of people were saying, hey, Derrick Rose fits in this offense. He fits with this team. And if he could just stay healthy, if he would stay healthy his whole career, we would probably see Derrick Rose with a championship.
That's the same thing I'm saying with Zion.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. I mean, I don't look at Derrick Rose as a bust at all. But,
no, he won an MVP. He was number one seed in the East before. He was all that stuff with Chicago.
But he's clearly a shell of that former self because of all of his injuries.
Yeah.
Of his injuries. It's really sad. When he came to Cleveland for that little bit, I was really happy. Like, hey, Derrick Rose is cool. I like what he's done. We
weren't
he
good
was
with
really
him,
good in Chicago. LeBron took him out a couple of times, but they were a good team. Him and the Bulls. So for a while now, he's here with the Knicks. He should be coming back soon. I think
end of the month, they're saying 25th.
End of the month or something like that. So he'll be back soon. But they need help. They need help. I like Evan Fournier. I like what he's done. He did a great album with Team France, and somebody picked him up, and I'm glad the Knicks picked him up. They just got Cam Reddish in the trade, and maybe that's a place to get Zion Williamson. Get him to the Knicks. Get him on a healthy diet. Get him working out. Get him in the environment that he's used to. He'll be with his Duke buddies, R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish. So maybe you gotta get him back there. So
yeah, we see what guys that get with their buddies, just like Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Yep, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go Grizzlies here. We can talk about a couple more things here. We can talk about something that just happened in the NFL here right before we get into hockey. But who are you picking here, Mike?
I'm going Grizzlies.
You're going Grizzlies here too? All right. So,
Matt, I don't think we picked differently in one game yet.
I don't think so yet.
We got to change that up.
Yeah, let's pick a hockey game, and then we'll talk about the official name change of the Washington football team. We talk about that. That just happened today, so that's something interesting, right, Mike?
Yeah, we'll talk about
that. We'll talk about where we won. Yeah, but write it down.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Well, so let's go into hockey here real quick. This is the last game. Today is the last day of games before the All-Star break. So I picked the team that we haven't picked a lot. I know we've talked about Minnesota, but the Chicago Blackhawks. We haven't talked about them too much. I like the Chicago Blackhawks. I think they have a young team on the brink. They have the veteran player they need. They had Patrick Kane, who's still dishing it out. 11 goals, 42 points. Alex DeBrincat is a great player as well. And I'm looking here. 1 second, but
there's 5 games on tonight. Almost all of them are good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games on here tonight, but we'll just have to wait and see who comes out and wins these games tonight. That's the main thing there. But the Chicago, they made the playoffs about two years ago, or about it.
Yeah, they missed it last year.
Something like that. They missed it last year, but made it the year before that. With the whole shutdown playoff thing, they made it, and they I think they got past the first round, and then I think the Golden Knights actually knocked them out. But that's Las Vegas. But I like Patrick Kane. He's one of my favorite.
I've always liked him.
Players. I have a shirt right here in my closet. I want to get his jersey really bad. But Patrick Kane. 1 year, I'll tell you a little story. But 1 year, I was watching the All-Star game. I was about 10 years old, and I think he was in the All-Star game that year. I don't know. He's been in a couple All-Star games, but then they made the Stanley Cup that year. And just watching him in that game, he had that ghost goal to win it. It was insane. Yeah, I was just 10 years old. I'm like, Dad, that's awesome. And I've liked him for a while. So,
I remember that though when I first started paying attention to hockey, which was probably around that age range 10 years ago. They were winning Stanley Cups. I think they've won 3. They've got 3 5 years.
He's got 3 just like Sid. So he's right there with Sidney Crosby as a top NHL player. Top 3 NHL players that come on the top of my head are Patrick Kane, Sidney Crosby, and probably Ovechkin. So, those guys are leaders of their team right there. They're all leaders. I'm not a big Capitals fan, but they all lead their team. And I have respect for Alex Ovechkin. This every team's got their leader, and Patrick Kane is a true leader of this team.
Yeah.
But Patrick Kane, I like the Princat. Seth Jones, he was really good with Columbus. I like to see what he can do here. Hopefully they can get him going. Jonathan Taves is always really good too. And I also like Kirby Dach too. Kirby Dach has some speed. So, but with saying that, Minnesota is just a more all-around team. And even though I like the Chicago Blackhawks, you've seen me wear my Griswold jersey on here a couple times. I mean, it was a cheap jersey, and I wanted a Blackhawks jersey. It was $30 on Amazon, so I got it. But I got to roll with Minnesota here.
I'd like to get a Blackhawks jersey or sweatshirt or something, because they're one of the most. They're one of the most more iconic teams in hockey.
Yeah. They have those in that store in the mall. It's called Sports Obsession. It's right there when you walk in. They have the red Blackhawks jersey, and it's Patrick Kane with the big white 88 on the back.
Sweet.
Man, I want it, but it's like $200.
I was talking earlier. I have Sidney Crosby jersey, but I want to get I want to get another Penguins one, and I want to get white too.
Yeah, I want to get another Pens jersey. You know who I want to get? I want to get a Jeff Carter jersey so bad.
I feel like I gotta get Malkin.
I gotta get Jeff Carter
because I'll have Crosby and Malkin. Them two.
I'm a big Letang fan. I like Chris Letang.
Letang too. That's another good one. He's been there forever too.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely want to get a white one. I don't know. I feel like I want to get the white one.
I want the throwback ones with the
that says Pittsburgh.
They go diagonal across the jersey.
I can't find a Malkin one anywhere though.
Yeah, those would be cool to get though.
Those are sweet.
But I'm
gonna pick Minnesota too.
Yeah, you're gonna pick Minnesota too. But
on TNT tonight, 9:30. I might watch the beginning of it before I fall asleep.
Might. But let's go ahead here. Well, about 10 minutes left in the show. We'll talk about the All-Star game, but first, the Washington football team officially changed their name to the Washington Commanders, right? So that's cool. You know, it's capital, DC type. You know, they're in the state capital. They should pick a name like that. You have the Washington Capitals. So, and who else? What else? The Nationals. So it's only fitting that they're like, we pick a name that's fitting to DC. So the Commanders.
I don't think it's a bad name. I didn't expect them to pick it. I didn't expect them to pick it. I was kind of thinking
you can't just go by. I like the football team name, but you just can't go by that forever.
You have to have a name in a logo.
You have to have a name. You do.
They really don't even have. They really kept the same logo, which is kind of the thing I was kind of disappointed.
I think the W. I know Alec said it was kind of lazy just to go back with the W.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it, but I like the burgundy uniforms that they have. Those are cool. And,
somebody on Instagram was saying, after this got announced, they were saying something about Red Warriors or something, or Warriors.
Yeah, I like the Red Wolves.
They could have kept the same. They could have kept the same circle with the feather, but just put like a warrior in it instead of Redskin.
Oh, maybe.
It was cool, but no, they went with Commanders. I like it. I like it. It's not what I expected, but
yeah,
it's.
I mean, we all kind of knew about it because I guess there was that leak that came.
Somebody leaked it. Yeah.
Somebody leaked it. I'm like, oh, okay, and it's not really a big surprise now.
I don't care what they are. I don't like the Redskins or
Washington
Commanders. Yeah,
because
they're my division. But it's again, they changed it. Whatever. I don't care if they changed it.
Yeah.
Or what they changed to. But it's just it's still weird. Even though they were a football team the last year, it's still taking me time to get used to it because Cowboys then at the time Redskins was iconic rivalry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And not seeing those teams and like that logo on their helmet, it took time to get used to. But
you think John Riggins and Doug Williams. So, yeah. But all right, final 10 minutes here. I want to talk a little bit about this, but I know, Mike, we're big baseball fans, and we haven't talked about it. I mean, spring training is coming around, and we're still in the lockout. We're still in that MLB lockout.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had one of the best, greatest seasons. I love my Cleveland team. It doesn't matter what their name is, but I mean, I've been repping the Braves now for a while too. I like my Atlanta Braves too, and they just won the World Series. And the next year it kind of stinks. Like when your team just wins it, one of your favorite teams just wins it.
You got to wait for opening day, and
you don't know if this season's gonna happen or not, and they don't get a shot to even defend their title.
I believe it's gonna happen, but it's just a matter of when. And I don't want to cut you off there, but it's gonna kind of suck because I'm not trying to bring my team into it, but obviously my team's rebuilding, and this is a time where they need spring training and they need a full season to get these guys into it. So I'm just concerned that it might push a team like them or some other rebuilding teams back an extra year or something. That's what I'm kind of concerned about. And I hate when there's lockouts in any sport, especially in baseball. It's my favorite one.
Baseball is my favorite sport. Everybody asks me my favorite sport. And I'm like, oh, I love baseball. And they're like, what? That's so boring, I'm like, I love baseball. It's relaxing.
It's not the most entertaining at all, but it's my favorite sport.
You don't have to be on edge the whole game to watch it. You are on
in the playoffs. You do
in the playoffs, yeah. But regular season, I mean, there's so many games. There's just so many games. You don't have to watch them all. You just put one on and just enjoy it. And I like calling high school games too. It's 9 innings. Yeah, it's long. I mean, high school is not 9 innings, but it's 9 innings. You get to watch. Just watch it. You're not on your edge of your seat, and it's just nice. Hockey. I'm on my edge of the seat the whole game because it's fast. It's fast. You don't know what's going to happen. You have to pay attention. Baseball, you can be like, oh, pop up, he's out.
See, I'm not. That's kind of, I guess, my personality. I don't know about that. Maybe just what I look for.
I like baseball.
Maybe it's what I look for and stuff like that because I don't need constant attention and like
No, I don't need.
What do you call it? Like entertainment. I don't need that. I go to a Cavs game. They're blasting music everywhere. I don't need that. No, it happens, but it kind of takes away from the game. And
yeah.
It's baseball. Just it's a fun game to watch. It's relaxing.
I don't need motorcycle jumping or just some dude flying through the air trying to get through a hoop or something.
Yeah,
I just need a relaxing sport to watch.
Yeah,
I just need a relaxing sport to watch, and that's baseball.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like all that loud stuff at like basketball games, but I love going to Cavs games. Don't get me wrong, but and even football games too. But it's just baseball is my favorite game. I know it's not the most entertaining. I tell people this all the time. When they ask, like, what's your favorite sport? It's definitely baseball.
Hey, but it's not. We are the old men.
He's not in here, Taylor. We're talking what we want about.
We're talking about what we want about. But, I mean, baseball's just relaxing to watch. I love watching baseball. I love playoff baseball is the best. I don't care if Cleveland or, with you, Pittsburgh are in it. It's just cool to watch. I know I had Atlanta in it, and, of course, I root for them a lot. And I try to watch every game I can besides Cleveland. But I mean, it's just cool to watch it and see who wins. You like the upsets, you like the favorites. The only favorite I like is probably the Dodgers. I'll roll with the Dodgers here and there, or root for the Giants or whoever gets in. So it's cool. It's cool to watch. It just
sucks that I kind of when they first had this lockout, I was like, oh, they might get it fixed. Then all this stuff happens. I think they met sometime last week, but I think I texted my one friend about it, and he was like, "Oh, it's probably just about like I don't even remember what he said, but it was something
everybody
stupid
knows
that really didn't progress towards them playing."
About what it's about. They still haven't made a decision on what new roles or something like that. We don't have to get into it. We've talked about it before. Everybody knows what it's about. So I'm just putting out my personal thoughts about it. Like I like baseball. Hopefully, it comes around.
There's just always an issue with it.
I'm going to be going to a lot of Mahoning Valley Scrappers games. Tell you that because I want to watch baseball.
Hey, it's a fun place to go.
Yeah, it is. They got dollar beer night.
3 years.
They have dollar beer night on or $2 beer night on Thursdays.
All right, let's not discuss that here.
Oh, we can. We're of age.
Well, I know that, but
see what they talk about on Power Hour. Are you kidding me? We can talk beer.
I know. You're right.
Yeah, but. Going back here, I mean, hopefully they come back. Hopefully they make a decision. But if they don't, I mean, life moves on.
It does. So, you got to move on. And it sucks because I was planning on going opening day this year for Pittsburgh. I think I did the last couple of years. I mean, COVID didn't ruin it because I stopped going the year before COVID hit. But the couple years before that, I was going over every year, and I want to try to get that going again. So whenever they do end up playing, I'd like to go. But it just sucks because I was like counting down stuff like, hey. I think it's the end of March.
It's always cool to count down. Like when you go to Cleveland or Pittsburgh, there's signs like the 40 days to opening day. And you won't see that now because it may not happen. But
I still, it's going to happen at some point. I know that. But it's just they're just not going to start on time. At least I'm trying to be positive about it, and at least that's what I've read or thought about when I've read stuff about it. So we'll see.
Yeah, but let's go ahead. Final 5 minutes here. Let's talk about the NHL All-Star Game. This should be cool. It's going to be in Las Vegas. They're adding.
I'm actually watching this year.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Jake Gensel is going to be in it, and I think one of our goalies, Jari. I think Jari made it.
Should be Jari.
Yeah, but They're adding a couple more skills.
I saw they're adding 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more events. They're playing in Las Vegas too. It's gonna be outside. It's gonna be cool.
It's a first.
So I always like the speed contest. Connor McDavid has speed. He moves at like 24 miles an hour.
Yeah,
he is so quick. He's been winning it for a while, but there's a couple guys out there. Hey, Jake Gensel has speed too.
And by the way, though, they were talking about Gensel last night. Being the All-Star. I think he was in it one at a time, but he couldn't play, so he wasn't all. This is his second time being there, but it's his first time being in it. Yeah, that's pretty hard to believe. That's his only second All-Star appearance.
Yeah, because he's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
fantastic. But we'll just have to see. I always like All-Star Weekend for any sport that's coming up for basketball.
I usually don't get into hockeys a lot, but I've heard the last couple of years that they've added these skill competitions. They're adding 2 more this year, and I'd like to watch it. It's something different.
Yeah, it's always something different. You have what are the challenges here? You have that. I mean, there's that accuracy shooting one. You have
the big
goalies. You have the one with the goalies too. That who can get the most stops. The trick shot competition. That's the breakaway challenge. That's pretty cool right there. So I like watching those skills contests because that's really what it is. That's really what it is because it takes skill to do some of the things they do. I mean, anybody. I mean, nothing against the NBA, but anybody can dunk. Anybody can shoot a 3.
Anybody that can skate the speed they do,
and
maneuver and stop and shoot anywhere.
It's a hard sport. And you're getting hit too.
Yeah,
you have to maintain your balance and focus on getting the puck in the goal and worry about who's going to come and smack you because it's going to happen. So it's physical. It's balance. It's all about the balance. But if you don't have anything else to say here, Mike, well, let's go ahead and wrap this show up here today. I've been Matt Morrison. That's been Mike Wolfgang on the Casual Sports Podcast. Be sure to tune into Power Hour next year, and we'll see you all tomorrow here on the Casual Sports Podcast.
See ya.